today, before I get started with the formalities, I want to welcome you to A Dream Come True.
Woo.
So personally, I have to say that the No Evil Project, and being an early adopter, if you will, or an early joiner of the project, has created deeper relationships for me. So today, if you haven't yet, stand in this hallway and look at the photos. See the individuals that you may have never thought could be your friend. And look at their labels. Read their good deed. It's not homework, it's an invitation for you. And the reason why I'm inviting you to do that is because what's happened for me, being a part of the No Evil Project, is that I have new and amazing relationships with really cool people. And there are people that have, for me, broken apart some of the stories that I heard from the adults that were trying to protect me in the past. Some of those stories like, we don't talk to those people, or stay away from that one, or whatever. And really, there are people that we get to know and get to join together with who, if we had just took an opportunity to look beyond what we see when we initially look at them, we get to realize that we're exactly the same. Exactly the same. So I got to meet someone who not only is the same height as me, just as handsome as me, but also does exactly the same good deed I do today. So be sure to see all the other same people in your community. So that's my invitation to you. And now, I would like to take a few moments to talk about our guest of honor. So our guest of honor, if you aren't already aware, is you. Whoever you are here present in this room. Whoever you are who wasn't able to be here today, but is part of our project and part of this exhibit. To be part of the No Evil Project is to admit that you do good. This world is where it is today because of the people that do good. And particularly with the No Evil Project, we see no evil, we hear no evil, and we speak no evil. And the ways that we do that show up every single minute of every single day in all shapes, sizes, colors, walks, and not. But together, if you didn't know this already, together, we make a difference in our world. Thank you. It is an absolute joy in my life and for all of the people around me that I have the privilege to work with you in this project. This project is not what it is because of a single person. It is what it is, and it is as powerful as it is because of your participation. So whether it was me, myself, who enrolled you to be a part of the project, or it was you that absolutely knew that you had to be a part of this project, or any of the other variety of ways of participating in between, personally, on behalf of all of the people that walk this planet, I say thank you to you. And I would love for another round of applause for you. Now I'm going to put this back together because I get to stop talking. Next, to provide some more information about the project, but also to give you an opportunity to get to know the creator of our project, I have the privilege of introducing to you Troy Thompson.
Thank you. We've, first of all, I got some housekeeping to do. Excellent, thank you. Wow, this is incredible. Thank you so much for coming today. I've been doing this since 2011, and this is going to be our 15th exhibit, but it's the first time we've had an exhibit at an art museum, and it's a whole new ball game. Thank you for the art museum for having us and believing in us and letting us stay up for 2 months because it took a lot of time to photograph everyone. And we were really trying to get a wide variety of people represented. You know, we were trying to shoot everyone in Fitchburg, and we didn't quite get that. We missed a few people, but there's only so much time and so much wall space we have. So we settled on 424. But the one thing that all these people have is that they live, work, or play in Fitchburg. And so no matter how different these people look like or do or have the labels, they have things in common. And that's really what the No Evil Project is all about, is using art and humor to help people learn about all those differences and find commonality. Everyone is labeled in some way and has their own stereotypes about those labels. And even though I'm a white straight man, I still have stereotypes. I can't dance, but I have friends that are affected by these kinds of things daily. And so I wanted to create something that helps people understand those differences and break out of those stereotypes that get out there. When you look at the exhibit, you may find people that have labels that you're not familiar with, or you have negative stereotypes about. But maybe you look at some of their other labels and you find something that you have in common, or maybe you look at their good deed and see that you both work at the same nonprofit, or you do the same kind of donations, or you both, one of my favorite ones that's not up there, but is saving a worm from puddles after a rainstorm. We have a little bit of everything up there. And unfortunately, there's too many groups that are trying to do the opposite of what we're doing here. They're trying to divide people through fear, from misinformation, or just taking advantage of people's lack of understanding about different labels. And by doing that, when a group is labeled as an other or evil or somehow less than human, it makes it easier to blame things on them or to use them to use fear to get people to do what you want. And it also ends up having bigger effects of people mistreating people from those groups or turning your back on those people when they really need your help. What the project does is takes those labels. Sometimes you don't know people from those groups, but vicariously through the project, you see real people with those labels. It humanizes them. And it gets you to see them as regular people that have the same hopes and dreams and concerns that you do. And the more you do that, the more they seem like just regular people. We're not trying to get you to convert or to agree with all these things that these people believe in or do, but just see them as regular people that deserve respect, and they're doing their own thing. And as you can tell from the good deeds, they're all doing good stuff. I have friends that I don't agree with them on much of anything, but they'll always be there to help you in your time of need. And that's what we need to do on a larger scale. But the way you do that is learn about those differences and talk to those people. And that's really difficult. It can be uncomfortable, and you can be afraid of offending someone because you don't know those things. But if you don't make that effort, all you have to go with are the stereotypes of those labels, and that just makes things worse. So part of the things that I wanted to do, the reason I did the monkeys is that it makes it less intimidating. You know, there's silly poses. Someone came in, this project's really silly. I'm like, yes, thank you. It is, and that's on purpose. You can't be afraid of someone that's doing these kinds of faces, you know, and having all that kind of stuff. So the monkeys themselves, you know, they're about 500 years old that the monkeys have been around. It's not just the emojis that you see for the younger generation out here. The philosophy behind it, though, has been around for thousands of years in different forms. And you see it pop up in all sorts of different religions and philosophies. There is some misunderstanding, though, because we have people that come up to us that, well, I don't want to close my eyes to evil and not hear things. And that's not what we're saying at all. It isn't the thing of, well, you know, just cover your eyes and leave us alone and don't get into trouble and, you know, don't snitch or whatever. What it really is the philosophy of how to live your life and not being affected by the evil that you see and hear. Don't take it into you. You know, if you're not influenced by it, you can still work to fight that, because I think it's really important that we counteract the negative things that we see. So for like see no evil and hear no evil, if you see something bad happening, you know, don't ignore it. And if you can, try to help out. You know, step in, help someone that's being that. If you hear that someone's being picked on because they're different, be there for them. It's not easy, but it's the right thing to do. And then we have speak no evil. And speak no evil is a little different. And it's tough because, especially when you're in a group of people and they're doing something and you don't really feel that it's the right thing to do, but you're kind of part of the crowd. And it's hard not to follow along and call them and speak the evil too. Or especially with social media, it's really easy that maybe you see something that seems really funny at first, but then you realize that it's funny at the expense of others. And, you know, resist the urge to forward that on and spread that. Or you read something about a group that you don't know much about, and, you know, from what this thing on Facebook says, they sound like horrible people, you know? And like, say there's a religion and you see this thing that they eat babies. And for sake of argument, let's say we use a religion that we see on TV a lot, like Yankees fans. So let's say you see the thing that Yankees fans eat babies. It's not true. It's not true. So say you see this thing saying that Yankees fans eat babies. So maybe, you know, before you just forward it. So before you forward it on, maybe you do some research. You know, maybe you look up on some reputable sources. Like my daughter says, you know, don't go to bobsfacts.com. You know, find something that actually knows something about that. And but always, if you forward it on without thinking about it, even if it's with good intention, you're spreading that hate, and that's what we want to try to avoid. So that's my challenge to you. Don't get caught up in the evil you may see and hear, and definitely don't speak and repeat it. See the good in people. Hear the people with different backgrounds and experiences they say. So even if you don't agree with them, you can at least relate to them and know where they're coming from and challenge those stereotypes. Speak up to people in need, no matter where they're born, how much money they have, what they believe that inspires them to do good, no matter their gender or sexuality, how much melanin is in their skin, no matter their mental or physical conditions, or even what sports team they root for or what kind of cell phone they have. Think of what we could accomplish if, instead of being divided by our differences, that we could use that variety of backgrounds and experiences to our advantage and use that to solve the problems that we face. Together, let's see what we can do. Thank you.